Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is Blaster Breakdown. Today I'm going to show you how I put together my latest Springer, the Blue Prophecy. This one uses the new silver Superstock kit with the 20N spring. It's midway between the old blue and orange kits. The aim is to hit right around that 150 FPS number, which is a common cap for Superstock events. Today I'll show you how I put this one together, including making space for the expanded plunger tube, fixing the buttstock firmly, MCX body kit with the internal pump, and work an adjustable scar up the front. Let's have a look inside. Okay, so here's the Prophecy out of the box. So I've pretty much stripped the inside other than the magazine release lever. So I've taken out the dart gate and muzzle attachment section, taken off the stock attachment cap. Now the Prophecy uses these M2.6 10mm Phillips head screws. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of those. So I'm not going to use those. So instead I've got these hex head screws, same size, M2.6 10mm. So I'm going to use those to hold the blaster together. So no more Phillips head screws for me. There's a few places the blaster uses M3 screws, like bit bigger ones in the back, and one or two other places. So I've also got some bigger hex head or socket cap screws. So yes, like I say, no more Phillips head screws for me. There is one little bit of shell cutting I need to do. So the Prophecy out of the box is configured for the standard size plunger tube, same as a Retaliator. And that's held in place with these ridges on each side of the shell, left and right. So I'll be cutting those away, and you can see this other rounded moulding along there, and that's the right size for the expanded plunger tube. So just need to cut away those ridges, and this will sit in place like so. So do that on both sides. The other piece of cutting I need to do, because of course with the expanded plunger tube we've got a longer spring, I need to make space here. So that's wide enough for the spring to fit through. You can see the stock attachment point is obviously quite a bit wider. So I'll probably get it sort of in line with these bits. Should be plenty. So what's that, maybe 2mm or so all the way around. So that hole gets enlarged, these ridges get removed, and then we're pretty much ready to begin assembling. So I'll do that and check in again. Okay, so that didn't take long. Now you can see I've got enough space for the spring to fit through. I made that hole not quite as wide as the cap, though could always take another millimetre or two off there. Probably won't matter. And on the inside, I've removed these bits here. So now our expanded plunger tube will sit like so, exactly in place. So that's the most difficult part, I reckon. And I can go ahead and continue assembling. So we'll do the breech next. Breech and bolt, and see how that looks. Okay, so we've got the silver muzzle piece and front of the breech. That'll slot in like that. The barrel, the beveled end, will slide in place like that. And it's fixed like so. And then the bolt will attach to the bolt sled with a little pin through there. So that's good. And that all wraps around into and around the plunger tube. One thing I will need is these standoffs. So they need to be pressed into the bolt sled on either side. And I'll do that before I do this other work. The only thing you need to keep in mind with these is because they slide back and forth through here, with the hex nut part that protrudes, you want to make sure that you've got flat edges parallel, well, horizontal, so that they slot in here and will slide. So you don't want the pointy bits up and down, you want the flat edges. That's one. Make sure that's horizontal. And then the bolt. Just line that pin up. Just find something a bit narrow to push that in a little further. Yep, that's nice. Okay, so that's going to slide in here. I'll lube that first. This one I can want that to be fairly tight. And first of my hex head screws. Okay, that's nice and secure. Alright, get a bit of lube now, I think. Wow, it's nearly finished. Okay, so that goes in nicely, and that goes in too. Okay, so plunger tube fits in like so. Got the bolt sled sliding, and the bolt seals into the breech. It's good. Plunger tube gets the plunger like so. The catch like so. Nice silver trigger. Spring we don't actually have to put in first, so we can do that after it's all bolted together. Jammed I'm not going to worry about, because I've got the body kit to go over the top, and the magwell adapter sits like so. Alright, so this much I can put together. Alright. Alright, that's good. So these ones take the bigger M3, which I'll need a different size bit. Okay, so there's that much done. Spring fits through there. Alright, so this base plate goes there. Keep your car keys in there if you like. You can see how the spring will be pre-compressed a little bit inside here. Okay, that's locked in place. Now, like your higher spring loads, it's always a good idea to have a bit of additional reinforcing there. So traditional way is the old thumb screws. Okay, so here's what I've done here. I've drilled a couple of holes through these existing slots in the stock that have gone down through the stock attachment cap and the left and right sides of the shell. So they're just big enough for these thumb screws to fit in. So I can replace the spring. That clicks into place. Now the danger when priming with too heavy a spring is, although because the stock attaches and it's held in place at the bottom here, you can get a bending force where the force of priming the spring pushes the back down. So these screws through the top will help keep that nice and firm. So it'll probably be a bit tight going in first time. On both sides. Yeah, both those holes are a bit tight, but they'll loosen up with use and hopefully not need to do this too often. My trusty greasy rag. Better too tight than too loose, I guess. Okay, that's very, very secure. It's not going anywhere. Alright, so you can see the trigger pressing up the catch. That's good. Okay, that much is done. I'm going to take a break and come back and finish it off tomorrow night, I think. Okay, well, I'm ready to finish this one off now. One thing I didn't mention previously was you may have noticed that the kit is silver, which is different from the blue and the orange kits. This is a new version recently released by Worker. Hardware is basically the same. The muzzle piece holding the barrel is the same. Now the barrel is an intermediate length, longer than the blue, shorter than the orange. The spring that comes with this kit is also intermediate, so it's shorter than the orange, but longer than the blue. So this is a 20N or 20 turns spring, and the aim of this is to get right on the 150 FPS. That's a common cap for Superstock events. So putting it together it's going to be the same process, whether you've got the blue or the orange or the silver, but that's what I've got to work with here and now. The other thing with these thumb screws, you might see sometimes people screw a single one down the middle. I had a spare purple, well, the kit came with one purple thumb screw. I had a spare one that matched, so that's why I figured I'd put two in and just make it a little bit stronger. Okay, so otherwise, this is as we were yesterday. Now, attaching the front and the body kit, there's a few parts to it. So this part has the standard end strike attachment that will fit on here, so that slides over the barrel. This kit comes with a big long orange faux barrel that's actually going to be too long for this one, so the silver kit comes with a shorter one. So I'll just slide that in like so, and then that twists in place, and you can see it follows the same profile as the front, like that. So this red bit, you can see it's shaped, and what that does is provides a rail for this channel for the pump grip to slide on. So that then slides over like so. And again, this is a new version of the MCX kit, front kit, and unlike the previous one, this new version comes with 2 sets of M3 countersunk screws. 6mm goes through the main hole into the bolt sled, and then there's 4mm ones that screw over and just overlap slightly to try and prevent the main attachment ones from coming loose, as the previous versions would sometimes do with repeated use. So, okay, these ones are Phillips head. I do have some socket or hex head versions coming, but they're a little while away. I'll swap those over when they arrive. So otherwise, this one just attaches to the bolt sled, screwing down. Oh, far out. Oh, there it is. I was lucky. Okay, there we are. So that's in place. So this faux barrel sort of just fills the gap there. I've got worker adjustable scar, so I can fit that on now, a friction fit. Then the body kit itself is in 4 parts, and this has this channel for the slide to go back and forth, so everything's protected from the outside. As mentioned before, I'm not going to bother with the jam door there. I find it useful being able to see inside, help ensure that darts are chambered, and I've got no problems going on there, so that's my choice to keep that open. Otherwise, this has a few knobs on this side, and these knobs here fit into these screw holes to make sure everything lines up. I'll just sort of hold it in place. The front, now the opening is 19mm, so it's right for faux barrel. It's also right for the worker adjustable scar. If you've got another brand, a 3D printed one for example, you may need to make extra space there if your scar doesn't protrude far enough. At the bottom, this is where the inside of the pump will slide. And it's just and then I've got my M3 socket cap screws. Now, the only one Phillips head screw on the outer kit that I can't replace is this one that's 20mm long. Again, I've ordered another, but for now, Phillips set it is. And this longer one goes in the front there. Okay, we've got this piece here that covers up the join there. So it's got holes on both sides for, what size will that be? I think we'll go with okay, that looks pretty good. nice and solid. And I've got pump grip to go on. Okay, so from the back we've got the stock. You can see the N20 spring in place there, 2 thumb screws holding it nice and firm, a metal catch in here, metal trigger, original mag release but a friction fit Talon adapter, expanded plunger tube, plastic bolt sled, silver metal Superstock kit, I guess we could call it, silver metal dart gate or muzzle attachment, MCX kit over the top with its integrated pump kit, metal arms underneath here, angled vertical foregrip. So the metal barrel that comes with this kit goes to about here, and then worker scar friction fit over the top. This is the adjustable fishing line version. So that's all held together nicely. Hex head screws or socket cap screws, of course. And it feels pretty solid. All right, time to load up some darts and take some shots. Okay, let's get some chronograph results for the Superstock Prophecy. I've got 3 types of darts here. Worker Gen 3s, Nexus Pro darts, and some good old ACC V3s. 10 of each. I'll throw over the chrony and we'll see what sort of results we get. Worker Gen 3s to start with. Next of all, Pro darts. Last of all, ACC V3s. Those numbers are quite a bit above my expected target of 150 FPS. So I'm going to have to do something about this spring before I use it at any Superstock events. Okay, so since 170, 180 FPS is no good for me for Superstock events, I've gone and cut down the spring about 2 coils. So I'll see if I can get this down to an average of 150 FPS, going with ACC darts. Yeah, I think that's much better for our Superstock events. Okay, let's get some accuracy results. Again, I've got the 3 types of darts. Starting with Worker Gen 3s first. As usual, 50 feet from the target. I don't have a sight dialed in or anything, I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, Pro darts next. Ooh, 3 good ones at the end then. And ACC V3s last of all. So I can tell even here that the ACCs are far less accurate than the Gen 3s, and I think the Pro Darts will come out as most accurate of all. So there you have it. That's the work of prophecy with the new silver Superstock internals. Please leave any questions or comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.